Purple flowers bloomed everywhere across the fields of New Terra Colony. 8-year-old Emma picked the pretty ones and put them in her basket. Her mother always said these flowers made the best medicine for headaches. The warm sun felt good on her face as she walked between the tall green plants that grew food for everyone in the colony. Rex followed close behind her. The small black and white animal looked like a mix between a bear cub and a badger. Most people thought he was just a cute pet. Emma knew better. Rex never left her side and always watched everything around them. His dark eyes missed nothing. "Look, Rex, this one is really big," Emma said, showing him a flower that was twice the size of the others. Rex sniffed it and made a happy grunt sound. He liked helping Emma with her flower picking. The colony was quiet today. Most of the grown-ups were working in the big buildings where they grew food and water instead of dirt. Emma's mother, Dr. Kate Williams, was one of the smartest people there. She made sure all the plants stayed healthy and grew lots of food. Emma heard a strange sound above her head. She looked up and saw something that made her heart beat fast. Big gray ships were coming down from the sky. They didn't look like the ships that usually came to visit the colony. These ships had sharp edges and dark spots on them like burn marks. Rex stopped walking and stood very still. His fur stood up on his back and he made a low growling sound that Emma had never heard before. Something was wrong. The ships landed hard in the field, crushing many of the purple flowers. Dust and dirt flew everywhere. Emma covered her eyes and coughed. When the dust settled, she saw creatures walking out of the ships. They were much taller than any person Emma had ever seen. Their skin looked like the scales on a lizard, but darker and thicker. Sharp teeth stuck out of their mouths, and their eyes were bright yellow like the sun. Emma wanted to run, but her legs felt like they were made of stone. She couldn't move. The creatures looked around the field and one of them pointed right at her. They started walking toward her with big, heavy steps that made the ground shake. Rex moved in front of Emma. Even though he was much smaller than the creatures, he didn't back away. His growling got louder, and he showed his own sharp teeth. The biggest creature reached them first. He was so tall that Emma had to bend her neck all the way back to see his face. When he spoke, his voice sounded like rocks falling down a mountain. "Small human child, you will come with us now. It is time for the taking." Emma didn't understand what he meant, but she knew it was bad. She tried to run, but the creature grabbed her arm with his huge hand. His grip was so tight it hurt. "Let me go," Emma shouted. "My mom will be mad at you." The creature made a sound that might have been laughing. "Your mother cannot help you now, small one. The Rex have chosen you for the great hunt. You should feel honored." Emma didn't feel honored. She felt scared. The creature started pulling her toward the ships. Her feet dragged on the ground because she couldn't keep up with his long steps. Rex ran alongside them, barking and growling. He tried to bite the creature's leg, but his teeth couldn't get through the thick scales. The creature kicked at Rex, but the small animal was too fast and jumped out of the way. Other creatures came out of the ships now. They all looked the same with their dark scales and yellow eyes. Emma counted 6 of them. They carried long sticks that sparked with blue light at the ends. "Boss Gorthak, what about the small beast?" one of them asked, pointing at Rex. The one holding Emma, who must be Gorthak, looked down at Rex and shrugged. "It is nothing. Just a pet animal. Leave it." But Rex wasn't giving up. He ran ahead of them and turned around facing the group. He stood right in their path and wouldn't move. Every time they tried to go around him, he moved to block them again. Emma had never seen Rex act like this before. At home, he was always gentle and calm. He liked to sleep in sunny spots and eat the treats Emma gave him. Now he looked like a completely different animal. His eyes were bright and angry. Spit dripped from his mouth as he snarled at the creatures. "Move, beast!" Gorthak shouted. He raised his foot to kick Rex again. This time, Rex didn't dodge. He jumped up and grabbed onto Gorthak's leg with his teeth and claws. The creature roared in pain and surprise. He shook his leg hard, but Rex held on tight. "Get it off! Get it off!" Gorthak yelled to the others. 2 of the other creatures poked at Rex with their sparking sticks. Blue light hit Rex and Emma saw smoke rise from his fur. Rex made a hurt sound but still didn't let go. Finally, one of the creatures hit Rex really hard with a stick that didn't have any sparks. Rex flew through the air and landed far away in the flowers. He didn't get up. "Rex!" Emma screamed. Tears ran down her face. She tried to run to him, but Gorthak's grip on her arm was too strong. "The beast is finished," Gorthak said. "Now we go." They dragged Emma to the biggest ship. Inside, everything was dark and smelled bad, like old meat and burnt things. They put Emma in a small room with metal bars. The room was so tiny she could touch both walls with her arms stretched out. Through a small window, Emma could see Rex, lying still in the flowers. He wasn't moving at all. She pressed her face against the cold metal bars and cried. The ship started making loud noises and shaking. Emma felt her stomach drop as they lifted off the ground. She watched her home get smaller and smaller until she couldn't see it anymore. "Don't worry, little human," Gorthak said from outside her cage. "The fear you feel now will make you strong. When we reach our homeworld, you will be part of our greatest ceremony. You should be proud." Emma didn't want to be proud. She wanted to go home. She wanted to hug her mother and father. Most of all, she wanted Rex to be okay. As the ship flew higher and higher, Emma curled up in the corner of her cage and closed her eyes. She thought about Rex lying in the flowers and wondered if she would ever see him again. The last thing she remembered before everything went dark was the sound of Rex's angry growling echoing in her ears. Rex opened his eyes and pain shot through his whole body. The blue sparks from the creature's sticks had burned patches of his fur. His side hurt where the stick had hit him. But he was alive. And that was all that mattered right now. He could smell Emma's scent in the air, but it was getting weaker. The ships had taken her up into the sky, far from the ground where Rex could follow. He rolled onto his feet and shook his head to clear the dizziness. The colony's alarm bells were ringing. Now, people ran out of the buildings, shouting and pointing at the sky. Rex could hear Emma's mother crying his name and Emma's name. He wanted to go to her, but Emma needed him more. Rex had lived with Emma's family for 3 years. Before that, he had lived in the wild places on Earth where everything tried to kill everything else. Emma's father, a big strong man who wore green clothes and carried weapons, had found Rex when he was very small. The man had gentle hands when he picked Rex up, even though Rex had tried to bite him. Now Rex remembered why he had survived in those wild places when so many other animals didn't. It wasn't because he was big or fast. It was because he never gave up, and he never forgot. Rex ran toward the colony's vehicle area. The people there used small flying machines to fix things on the outside of buildings and to carry heavy boxes. Rex had watched them many times. He knew how the machines worked. A maintenance worker was getting out of one of the small ships when Rex arrived. The man saw Rex coming and bent down to pet him. "Hey there, little guy. Are you hurt? What happened to your fur?" Rex didn't have time to be petted. He jumped past the man and into the small ship. The controls were made for human hands, but Rex was smart. He had watched Emma's father fly ships like this one. He used his teeth to grab the stick that made the ship go up. He used his paws to push the buttons that made it move forward. The man outside shouted in surprise as the ship lifted off the ground with Rex inside. "Hey, come back, you can't fly that." But Rex was already flying. The ship wobbled and spun at first because his paws weren't made for the controls. But Rex was a fast learner. Soon he was flying straight up, following the heat trail that the big ships had left in the sky. The colony got smaller below him. Rex had never been this high before, but he wasn't scared. Emma's scent was still faint in the air, mixed with the smell of the creatures that had taken her. Rex's nose was much better than a human nose. He could track that smell anywhere. The heat trail led up and up, past the clouds and into the black space above the world. Rex's small ship wasn't made to go this far, but he pushed it harder. The machine made unhappy sounds, but it kept flying. After a long time, Rex saw the big ships ahead of him. They were moving fast, but not as fast as they could. Maybe they thought no one was following them. They were wrong. Rex flew his small ship right up to the biggest ship where Emma's scent was strongest. The ship had a small opening on the side where other small ships could dock. Rex had seen this on other ships before. He flew his machine right into the opening. The small ship bumped and scraped against the walls as Rex tried to land it. He wasn't very good at landing yet. The machine finally stopped with a loud crash, but Rex was okay. He climbed out of the broken ship and sniffed the air. Emma was here. She was alive and not too far away. But there were also 6 of the big creatures on this ship. Rex could smell each one of them. They smelled like old blood and fear. Rex started moving through the ship. The hallways were made for creatures much taller than him, but that was good. He could hide in the shadows and under things. The creatures were big and heavy. They made loud noises when they walked. Rex was small and quiet. They would never hear him coming. He found the first creature in a room full of machines. The creature was pushing buttons and looking at screens that showed pictures of space. Rex climbed up the wall using his claws. The metal was easy to grip. When Rex dropped down onto the creature's head, the creature made a surprised roar. Rex bit down on the creature's neck, right where he could feel blood moving under the scales. The creature tried to grab Rex, but Rex was already moving. He ran down the creature's back, scratching deep lines with his claws. The creature spun around and around, trying to catch Rex. He knocked over machines and broke screens. But Rex was too fast and too small. Every time the creature thought he had caught Rex, Rex was somewhere else, biting and scratching. Finally, the creature fell down and stopped moving. Rex had found all the right spots to bite. The creature was not dead, but he would not be getting up for a very long time. Rex moved on to the next creature. This one was in a different room, cleaning weapons that sparked with blue light. Rex jumped on him from above, just like before. This creature was faster and almost caught Rex with his big hands. But almost wasn't good enough. Rex bit the creature's fingers and the creature dropped his weapon. While the creature yelled in pain, Rex grabbed the weapon with his teeth. It was heavy, but Rex was stronger than he looked. He turned the weapon around and pressed the part that made the blue sparks come out. Blue light hit the creature in the chest and he fell down with smoke rising from his scales. This one would not get up at all. The other creatures on the ship heard the noise and came running. Rex could hear their heavy footsteps and their angry voices. They were looking for him now, but that was okay. Rex was hunting them, not the other way around. The third creature found Rex in the hallway. This one was smarter than the others. He moved slowly and carried 2 weapons. When he saw Rex, he didn't roar or shout. He just aimed his weapons and fired. Rex was already moving when the blue light came. He ran along the walls and ceiling, using his claws to stick to the metal. The creature's weapons couldn't turn fast enough to follow Rex's movements. Rex jumped on the creature's weapon arm and bit down hard. The creature dropped one weapon and tried to hit Rex with his other hand, but Rex was already biting his other arm. Soon the creature had no weapons and Rex had all the weapons. This creature was also much quieter when Rex finished with him. The fourth and fifth creatures came together. They were scared now. Rex could smell their fear mixed with their anger. Fear made creatures do stupid things. They fired their weapons at shadows and knocked over their own equipment trying to catch Rex. Rex used their fear against them. He made noise in one part of the ship to make them look there. Then he attacked them from behind. When they turned to face him, he was already gone and attacking from a different direction. These 2 creatures lasted longer than the others because they worked together, but Rex had fought packs of wild animals on Earth. He knew how to split them up and take them down one at a time. When the 5th creature fell, Rex was breathing hard and his fur was singed in several places, but he could smell Emma very close now. She was just through one more door. The last creature, the biggest one called Gorthak, was waiting for Rex in Emma's room. He stood in front of Emma's cage with a weapon in each hand. His yellow eyes were full of hate and fear. "Small beast," Gorthak said. "You have killed my hunting party. How is this possible? You are just a pet animal." Rex didn't answer because Rex didn't talk, but his eyes said everything that needed to be said. Emma was his pack, his family. No one touched his family. Rex jumped at Gorthak with a roar that shook the whole ship. Gorthak was the biggest and strongest of all the Vrex hunters. He had taken children from dozens of different worlds and never lost a single fight. His scales were thicker than the others and his weapons were the most powerful. But when Rex jumped at him with that terrible roar, Gorthak felt something he had never felt before. Pure fear. Rex hit Gorthak in the chest and knocked him backward. Both of Gorthak's weapons flew out of his hands and skittered across the floor. Rex's claws dug deep into Gorthak's scales, finding the soft spots between them. Gorthak tried to grab Rex with his huge hands, but Rex was like trying to hold on to lightning. Every time Gorthak thought he had Rex, the small animal was somewhere else, biting and clawing. "Emma!" Rex made a sound that was almost like talking. "Emma's safe." Emma pressed her face against the bars of her cage. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. Rex was fighting the biggest monster all by himself, and he was winning. Gorthak threw himself against the walls, trying to smash Rex. But Rex used Gorthak's own strength against him. When Gorthak hit the wall, Rex jumped off at the last second. Gorthak hit the metal so hard that he dented it. The fight lasted for a long time. Gorthak was strong, but Rex never got tired. Rex never slowed down. Rex never gave up. Finally, Gorthak collapsed on the floor, breathing hard and bleeding from dozens of bite marks. "What are you?" Gorthak whispered. "No animal should be able to do this." Rex didn't answer. He went to Emma's cage and used his teeth to pull the metal pieces until the door opened. Emma ran out and hugged Rex tight. "Rex, I thought you were dead. How did you get here?" Rex licked Emma's face and made happy sounds. He checked her all over to make sure she wasn't hurt. When he was sure she was okay, he looked around the room. He found controls that looked like the ones in his small ship. Rex pushed buttons with his paws until the ship's communication system turned on. Voices came through the speakers, speaking in human language. "This is New Terra Colony calling all ships. Our children have been taken by unknown attackers. Please help us find them." Rex grabbed a metal piece from the cage in his teeth and banged it against the communication device. The sound went through the speakers to the people back home. "Did you hear that? Someone's sending a signal. Can you track where it's coming from?" Emma understood what Rex was doing. She spoke into the communication device. "Mom, Dad, it's me, Emma. Rex saved me. We're on the bad creature's ship, but Rex stopped all of them." The voices on the other end went crazy. Emma's mother was crying and laughing at the same time. Her father was shouting orders to other people about tracking the signal and sending ships to rescue them. While they waited for help to arrive, Rex made sure all 6 Vrex hunters were still down. Some of them were starting to move again, but not very much. Rex had been very careful not to kill them, just stop them from fighting. Emma looked around the ship and found a small recording device. The Vrex had used it to record everything that happened during their hunt. Emma pushed the play button and watched as images showed Rex's entire rescue mission. "Rex, you flew a ship by yourself. How did you know how to do that?" Rex just made a happy grunt. He didn't know how to explain that. He had watched and learned from Emma's family for years. He had seen Emma's father fix machines and fly ships. Rex's brain was much smarter than anyone realized. When the rescue ships from New Terra Colony arrived, they found Emma and Rex waiting calmly in the control room. All 6 Vrex hunters were unconscious and tied up with cables that Rex had pulled. Out of the walls, Dr. Kate Williams was the first person through the door. She grabbed Emma and hugged her so tight that Emma could barely breathe. "Emma! Oh, my baby, are you okay? Are you hurt?" "I'm fine, Mom. Rex saved me. He flew a ship and fought all the monsters, and he won." Emma's father, Colonel James Williams, looked around the ship with amazement. He had seen battlefields before, but nothing like this. 6 trained Vrex hunters, each weighing over 300 kilograms, had been defeated by one small Earth animal weighing less than 20 kilograms. "Rex," the colonel said quietly. "What exactly are you?" The rescue team took pictures and videos of everything they found on the Vrex ship. They also took the recordings that the Vrex had made of their hunt. When they got back to New Terra Colony, they sent all the information to Earth and to the Galactic Council headquarters. Dr. Lisa Park, the colony's xenobiologist, watched Rex's combat footage over and over again. She had studied Earth animals for most of her life, but she had never seen anything like this. Kate, she said to Emma's mother, we need to talk. This changes everything we thought we knew about honey badgers. They gathered in the colony's main meeting room. Emma sat in a chair with Rex on her lap, eating treats and acting like a normal pet again. But everyone in the room looked at him differently now. According to every database in the galaxy, Dr. Park said, honey badgers are classified as simple Earth fauna, low intelligence, basic hunting instincts, no technology use capability. She pointed at the screen showing Rex flying, the maintenance ship. This footage shows Rex operating complex machinery, navigating through space and executing advanced tactical maneuvers. Either our databases are completely wrong, or Rex is not a normal honey badger. Colonel Williams shook his head. Rex is normal for his species. I found him on Earth when he was a baby. I've seen wild honey badgers fight lions and win. I've seen them break out of the strongest cages. I've seen them track prey for days without giving up. But flying a ship? Doctor, Park asked. Honey badgers are problem solvers, the colonel explained. They watch, they learn, they adapt. Rex has been watching us for 3 years. He's seen me fix engines and pilot ships hundreds of times. When Emma needed him, he used what he had learned. Dr. Park looked at Rex with new respect. Are you saying that honey badgers have been learning from us this whole time? That they're intelligent enough to master human technology just by observation? I'm saying that we've been thinking about Earth animals all wrong, Colonel Williams said. We see a small, cute animal and we think pet. But Rex comes from a world where everything is trying to kill everything else. Honey badgers don't survive on Earth by being cute. They survive by being smarter, tougher, and more determined than anything else around them. Emma hugged Rex tighter. Rex isn't just smart, he's brave too. He came to save me even though the monsters were much bigger than him. 3 days later, representatives from the Galactic Council arrived at New Terra Colony. They came in big, official ships with serious-looking alien diplomats from a dozen different species. Ambassador Rhys Thompson met them at the landing pad. He was a calm, experienced diplomat who had handled first contact with dozens of alien species. But even he looked nervous. Ambassadors, he said. Welcome to New Terra Colony. I assume you're here about the Vrex incident? We are here, said a tall, thin alien with blue skin, because one small Earth animal has destroyed 6 trained Vrex hunters. This should not be possible. We need to understand how. They all gathered in the meeting room where Emma and Rex were waiting. Rex was sleeping in Emma's lap, looking completely harmless. The alien diplomat stared at him in confusion. This small creature defeated 6 Vrex? Asked another diplomat. How can you be certain? Dr. Park showed them all the footage from the Vrex ship. She showed them Rex flying the maintenance ship, fighting the hunters, and rescuing Emma. The alien diplomats watched in shocked silence. When the footage ended, the blue-skinned diplomat spoke very carefully. How many creatures like this exist on Earth? Colonel Williams smiled grimly. Honey badgers? There are thousands of them, but they're not even close to being our most dangerous animals. The diplomats looked at each other with worry in their eyes. What? Asked the blue-skinned diplomat. Would you consider your most dangerous animals? Well, Colonel Williams said, there are polar bears. They're about 4 times bigger than Rex and just as determined. There are wolverines, which are like Rex but even more aggressive. There are Tasmanian devils, which can bite through metal. And then there are the really dangerous ones like tigers, crocodiles, and great white sharks. The room went completely quiet. Rex opened one eye, looked around at all the scared aliens, and went back to sleep. Emma petted Rex's head gently. Don't worry, she told the diplomats. Rex only fights monsters who try to hurt his family. If you're nice to us, he'll be nice to you too. The diplomats did not look reassured. The news spread across the galaxy faster than light-speed travel. On every world and every space station, beings were watching the same footage. Rex, a small Earth animal weighing less than most aliens' lunch, had single-handedly ended the Vrex hunting tradition that had lasted for over 3,000 years. Ambassador Rhys Thompson sat in his office on Kepler Station, the massive diplomatic center that orbited between 12 different star systems. His communication device hadn't stopped ringing for 3 days. Every species in the Galactic Council wanted answers about humanity's secret weapons. The first call came from the Altarian Federation. The Altarians were peaceful traders who looked like walking trees with silver bark. Their leader, branch speaker, Willow, sounded worried when she spoke through the translator. Ambassador Thompson, our scientists have analyzed the footage from the Vrex ship. This creature, Rex, shows problem-solving abilities that rank higher than most of our military strategists. How is this possible? Thompson rubbed his tired eyes. He had been explaining the same thing for days. Branch speaker, Rex is not a weapon or a trained soldier. He's a family pet who is protecting a child he loves. This is normal behavior for his species. Normal? Willow's voice rose higher. Normal creatures do not pilot spacecraft or execute tactical combat maneuvers. Our databases show honey badgers as simple scavengers with minimal intelligence ratings. Your databases are wrong, Thompson said patiently. We've been trying to tell the Council for years that Earth animals are different from what you expect. No one wanted to listen. The next call came from the crystalline Zephyrians who lived in harmony with sound waves and communicated through musical tones. When they tried to analyze Rex's combat footage, their harmonic frequencies turned into sounds that resembled screaming mechanical alarms. Human ambassador, their leader sang in notes that hurt Thompson's ears. Your creature has created discord in our peaceful harmonies. How can something so small generate such violent resonance patterns? Thompson had to hold the phone away from his ear. He was protecting his family. Any parent in the galaxy would do the same. But parents are large and strong, the Zephyrian sang. This creature is neither. Yet he defeated 6 mature Vrex hunters. This violates the natural order of size and strength that governs all life. Not on Earth, Thompson said. On Earth, survival depends on more than size. The worst call came from the Drakmari Empire. The Drakmari were 6-limbed warriors who had conquered dozens of star systems through superior military tactics. They respected strength above all else and had never been defeated in battle. Their war prime, General Thox, sounded genuinely shaken. Thompson, Thox growled through the translator. My warriors have watched your creature's combat recordings. We have never seen such efficient killing techniques. Not from creatures 10 times larger. Where did you train this beast? We didn't train him at all, Thompson explained. Rex learned everything by watching Emma's family. He taught himself. There was a long silence on the other end. Finally, Thox spoke again, and for the first time in Thompson's experience, the Drakmari general sounded afraid. You are telling me that this creature developed advanced combat skills through observation alone, without formal training or genetic modification? Yes. How many more of these creatures exist on your homeworld? Thompson checked his notes. The last Earth survey counted approximately 200,000 honey badgers in the wild, plus thousands more living with human families as companions. The connection went dead. Thox had hung up. By the 4th day, emergency session alerts were flooding Thompson's office. The Galactic Council had called for an immediate full assembly to discuss what they were now calling the Terran problem. Thompson packed his briefings and took a shuttle to the council chambers. The massive circular building could hold representatives from all 847 member species. Today, every seat was full, and the air hummed with worried conversations in hundreds of different languages. Council Speaker Prime, a wise old Xerian with 4 arms and purple skin, called the session to order. Her voice carried clearly through the translation systems. We are here to discuss the recent incident involving human colonists and Vrex hunters. The footage we have all seen raises serious questions about humanity's place in galactic society. Thompson took his seat in the human section, which was much smaller than most others since humanity had only joined the council 5 years ago. He could feel thousands of alien eyes watching him. The Vrex representative stood to speak first. His name was War Chieftain Dolgak, and he was Gorthak's older brother. His yellow eyes burned with humiliation and rage. Honored Council, Dolgak said, the Vrex hunting tradition is sacred to our people. For 3,000 years we have tested ourselves against the children of lesser species. It makes us strong and proves our worth as warriors. Many species in the chamber nodded their agreement. The taking of younglings for ritual purposes was considered acceptable among warrior cultures, as long as the children were returned alive. But this human creature, Dolgak continued, has made a mockery of our traditions. 6 of our finest hunters, warriors who had successfully completed dozens of hunts, were defeated by a single small beast. This has brought shame upon the entire Vrex nation. More nodding around the chamber. Thompson could see that many species thought humanity had somehow cheated or used hidden technology. Worse, Dolgak said, this creature showed no honor in battle. It used stealth, deception, and hit-and-run tactics. It fought like a coward, not a warrior. Thompson couldn't stay quiet any longer. He stood up and requested permission to speak. War Chieftain Dolgak, Thompson said. Rex used exactly the tactics that any outnumbered defender would use. He was facing 6 opponents, each 5 times his size. The fact that he won it all is remarkable. Remarkable, Dolgak roared. It is impossible. No creature that small should be able to defeat trained Vrex hunters. Then perhaps, Thompson said, calmly, your hunters weren't as well trained as you thought. The entire chamber erupted in angry voices. Representatives from dozens of warrior species shouted insults at Thompson. The council speaker had to bang her gavel repeatedly to restore order. When the noise died down, Dr. Park stood up next to Thompson. She had been called to the station as an expert witness on Earth biology. Honored Council, Dr. Park said, I have spent my entire career studying Earth fauna. What Rex did was not impossible. It was inevitable. She activated a holographic display that showed Earth's evolutionary timeline. Earth is what we call a high-pressure evolutionary environment. Every creature on our world has been shaped by millions of years of intense competition for survival. The weak die quickly. Only the strongest, smartest, and most adaptable survive. To reproduce, the hologram showed images of Earth's animals, lions hunting zebras, crocodiles ambushing prey, sharks patrolling the oceans. The alien representatives watched with growing unease. Honey badgers like Rex survive in this environment not through size or strength, but through pure determination and intelligence. They regularly fight animals much larger than themselves and win. They solve complex problems. They never give up, no matter how badly they are injured. The Altarian representative, Branch Speaker Willow, stood to ask a question. Dr. Park, are you saying that all Earth creatures possess these abilities? Not all, Dr. Park replied, but many do. Earth has produced creatures that can solve puzzles, use tools, communicate complex ideas, and adapt to new environments faster than most sapient species. We call them animals, but they're really survivors from one of the most competitive biospheres in the known galaxy. War Chieftain Dolgak was shaking with rage. You expect us to believe that your entire world is full of creatures like this? Creatures that can defeat trained warriors? Dr. Park nodded. War Chieftain, Rex is actually considered a gentle, peaceful animal by Earth standards. He's never shown any aggression toward humans or other Earth creatures. He only fought your hunters because they threatened Emma, whom he considers family. If he is peaceful, asked the Drakmari General Thox over the communication system, what are your aggressive creatures like? Thompson and Dr. Park looked at each other. This was the question they had been dreading. Well, Dr. Park said slowly, there are grizzly bears. They weigh about 400 kilograms and can run 60 kilometers per hour. There are wolverines, which are basically honey badgers but larger and more territorial. There are big cats like tigers and jaguars, which are perfect killing machines. The chamber was completely silent now. And then, Dr. Park continued, there are the aquatic predators. Great white sharks, saltwater crocodiles, giant squid, and the really dangerous ones that we've managed to domesticate. Domesticate? Speaker Prime asked weakly. Horses, which are powerful enough to kick through metal walls, but we ride them for fun. Dogs, which are descended from wolves and bred for loyalty and intelligence. Some of our dogs are trained to fight alongside human soldiers. Others are companions for children, just like Rex. Thompson stood up again. Honored Council, humanity tried to warn you about this when we first joined. We told you that Earth fauna might be surprising. We filled out all the biological survey forms, We listed our companion species and their capabilities. But your xenobiologists classified everything as low threat because they used size and standard intelligence metrics. He gestured to the footage of Rex still playing on the main screen. This is the result of those miscalculations. Rex isn't a weapon or a secret project. He's just a pet who loves a little girl enough to fly across space and fight 6 monsters to save her. And honestly, he's one of our calmer companion animals. The chamber erupted in chaos again. Representatives were shouting in dozens of languages, demanding genetic scans of all Earth fauna, calling for restrictions on human expansion, and asking why humanity had been allowed to join the council in the first place. In the middle of all the noise, Thompson's personal communicator beeped with a message from Emma's father. The message was simple. Rex is back to napping in sunbeams. Emma made him a new flower crown. How are the peace talks going? Thompson looked around at the panicking aliens and sighed. It was going to be a very long day. 3 months after Rex's rescue of Emma, the Galactic Council released their final report on what they officially called the Terran Biological Assessment. The document was 847 pages long and had been written by the best xenobiologist from 23 different species. Ambassador Thompson read it in his office while drinking his morning coffee, which had gotten cold hours ago. The report's conclusion was simple and terrifying. Earth was a death world, and humanity had somehow survived there long enough to develop space travel. Ambassador? His assistant, a friendly vegan named Bluetail 7, poked her head through the door. The council speaker wants to see you. She says it's urgent. Thompson walked through the corridors of Kepler Station toward the council chambers. Along the way, he noticed something different. Alien beings who used to nod politely when they saw him now stepped aside and gave him much more space. Some even bowed slightly, as if he were dangerous. Council Speaker Prime was waiting in her private office, a smaller room behind the main chambers. She looked older and more tired than Thompson remembered. Her purple skin had faded to a lighter shade, and her forearms moved more slowly. Ambassador Thompson, she said, please sit. We need to discuss the future of human-galactic relations. Thompson took a seat across from her desk. I assume this is about the biological assessment report? Speaker Prime activated a holographic display that showed a 3-dimensional model of Earth. The planet slowly rotated, but instead of the usual blue and green colors, this version was marked with red zones that covered almost the entire surface. Our scientists have classified Earth as a Class 3 hazard world, Speaker Prime said. This is the highest threat rating in our system. Only 12 such worlds have ever been discovered, and none of them have produced sapient life. Until now, Thompson said. Until now. Speaker Prime touched a control, and the display changed. To show Earth's animals. Rex appeared first, followed by images of grizzly bears, tigers, sharks, and dozens of other species. Our analysis shows that Earth's evolutionary pressure is approximately 400 times higher than the galactic average. Your animals possess capabilities that shouldn't exist in nature. Thompson watched as the display showed a video of a real honey badger on Earth, breaking out of what looked like an impossible cage. They're just adapted to their environment. Ambassador, this creature is using tools, problem-solving at a rate that matches most sapient species, and showing determination levels that exceed our military training standards. And according to your own data, it's considered average intelligence for Earth mammals. The display changed again to show a pack of wolves hunting together, using complex strategies and communication. Then it showed dolphins solving puzzles underwater. Then elephants using tools to get food. Every single Earth species our scientists studied shows enhanced intelligence, problem-solving ability, and social cooperation far beyond what should be possible for non-sapient life. Speaker Prime continued. The question that keeps us awake at night is this. If your animals are this capable, what does that say about humans? Thompson had been expecting this question for weeks. It says that we learned to survive on a world where everything was trying to kill us. We got smart, we got tough, and we learned to work together. Our animals did the same. Which brings us to the new protocols. Speaker Prime waved her hand, and the display showed official council documents. As of today, the council is implementing the Terran protection protocols. Any hostile action against human settlements, citizens, or interests will be classified as a Category 2 threat response scenario. Thompson blinked in surprise. Category 2, that's the classification for dealing with galactic-scale emergencies. Yes, because our analysis suggests that threatening humans may result in unpredictable biological responses from their companion species. We cannot risk another incident like the Vrek situation. You're basing galactic law on the possibility that our pets might get angry? Speaker Prime looked at him seriously. Ambassador, your pet single-handedly destroyed 6 trained warriors and flew a spacecraft through space, using only observation-based learning. If that's what one small Earth animal can do when protecting a human child, we don't want to discover what your larger companion species might be capable of. She activated another display that showed reports from across the galaxy. Since the Rex incident became public knowledge, Vrex hunting parties have canceled all planned expeditions. The Korthak slavers have officially declared human space off-limits to their operations. Even the Drakmari Empire has issued orders to their fleet commanders to avoid any conflicts with human vessels. Thompson started laughing, which seemed to worry Speaker Prime even more. I'm sorry, Thompson said, wiping tears from his eyes. It's just funny. You're all afraid of starting a war with Earth's animals. Are we wrong to be afraid? Thompson thought about Rex currently napping in Emma's bedroom back on New Terra Colony. He thought about his own childhood dog, a German shepherd named Bruno, who had protected Thompson from bullies and learned to open doors by watching the family. He thought about all the Earth animals living peacefully with human families across dozens of colonies. No, Thompson said finally. You're not wrong, but you're also not understanding the most important part. Which is, Earth's animals only fight when their families are threatened. Rex didn't attack the Vrex because he's violent or aggressive. He attacked them because they took Emma. If you don't threaten us or our families, our companion animals are the gentlest creatures you'll ever meet. Speaker Prime pulled up a new document, which is why the second part of the Terran protection protocols focuses on integration rather than isolation. We're proposing cultural exchange programs, joint research projects, and expanded diplomatic cooperation. Thompson was surprised again. You want to work with us more closely, not less? Ambassador, humanity has survived and thrived on a world that our best scientists consider uninhabitable. Your species has somehow domesticated creatures that could serve as elite military units for most galactic armies. And you've done all this while maintaining peaceful, cooperative societies. She stood up and walked to the window that looked out over the station. Ships from dozens of different worlds moved through space in carefully coordinated patterns. The Council has realized that we have much to learn from humanity. Your problem-solving abilities, your adaptability, your capacity for cooperation under extreme stress. These are exactly the qualities the galaxy needs as we face new challenges. What kind of challenges? Speaker Prime turned back to him. 3 weeks ago, our deep space sensors detected movement at the galaxy's edge. Something large is coming toward our space. Something that doesn't match any known stellar phenomena or technology signatures. She activated a final display that showed the edge of their galaxy. Red indicators marked several areas where sensors had detected unusual activity. Whatever it is, it's big. It's moving with purpose, and it's coming from the direction of the galactic void. Our best military analysts estimate we have perhaps 2 years before first contact. Thompson felt a chill run down his spine. You think it's hostile? We don't know. But if it is, we want humans and their companion species fighting alongside us, not isolated on your death world waiting for orders. The office door chimed softly, and Bluetail 7 entered with a data pad. Ambassador, you have a priority message from New Terra Colony. Thompson accepted the pad and read the message. It was from Emma, and it was written in the careful handwriting of an 8-year-old. Dear Mr. Ambassador, Rex says hi and wants to know when you're coming home for dinner. Mom made cookies and Rex keeps trying to steal them, but I won't let him. Dad says you're making the aliens be nicer to us. Thank you for keeping us safe. Also, Rex learned how to open the cookie jar by himself, and Mom is not happy about it. Love, Emma. P.S. Rex wants to add something. Below Emma's message, in what looked like paw prints made with cookie dough, was a pattern that somehow looked like a happy face. Thompson showed the message to Speaker Prime, who stared at it for a long moment. "The creature can write?" she asked weakly. "No, he just likes making patterns in cookie dough." Emma thought it looked like he was trying to say hello. Speaker Prime sat down heavily in her chair. "Ambassador Thompson, I want you to return to New Terra Colony and begin implementing the integration protocols immediately. We need to understand how humans and their companion species work together. If something dangerous is coming from the void, we want to be ready." Thompson stood to leave. "I'll start the preparations right away, but Speaker Prime, you should know something important." "What?" "Rex isn't special among Earth animals. He's just a normal honey badger who loves his family. If you really want to understand how we work together, you'll need to accept that our companion species aren't pets or weapons or tools. They're family members who choose to stand with us." Thompson walked back through the station corridors toward his shuttle. This time, instead of stepping aside fearfully, the alien beings he passed nodded respectfully. Some even smiled, or made whatever expression passed for smiling in their species. As his shuttle lifted off from Kepler Station, Thompson opened a communication channel to New Terra Colony. "This is Ambassador Thompson calling Dr. Kate Williams." Emma's mother answered immediately. "Ambassador, we got your message about coming home. Emma's been asking about you every day. I'm on my way, but Dr. Williams, I need to ask you something. How would you feel about hosting some alien visitors who want to learn about human-animal cooperation?" There was a pause. "What kind of visitors?" "The peaceful kind who are very interested in understanding how Rex does what he does." Another pause, then laughter. "Ambassador, Rex is currently trying to figure out how to open the new child-proof latch I put on the cookie jar. If your alien friends want to watch him problem solve for a few hours, they're welcome to come. Just bring more cookies." Thompson smiled as his shuttle entered hyperspace for the journey home. Behind him, Kepler Station continued its work of governing 847 different species across thousands of star systems. And somewhere at the edge of the galaxy, unknown forces moved through the void toward their space. But on New Terra Colony, a little girl was teaching her honey badger how to play a new game, completely unaware that their friendship had changed the course of galactic history. When Thompson's shuttle landed 3 days later, Emma and Rex were waiting at the landing pad. Emma had made Rex a new collar decorated with small purple flowers, and Rex was sitting patiently while wearing it, which Thompson knew was a major achievement. "Mr. Ambassador," Emma ran toward him with Rex trotting beside her. "Rex learned 3 new tricks while you were gone. Want to see?" Thompson knelt down to greet them both. "I'd love to see them, Emma, but first I have some friends coming to visit who are very excited to meet Rex." Rex looked up at Thompson with bright, intelligent eyes and made a sound that might have been laughter. Whatever challenges lay ahead in the void beyond their galaxy, Thompson was confident that humanity and their remarkable companions would face them together. After all, they had survived on Earth. Everything else would be easy by comparison.